Day 18. Exodus 2-4. Exodus chapter 2. Moses is born and exposed on the bank of the river, where he is taken up by the daughter of Pharaoh and adopted for her son. He killeth an Egyptian, and fleeth into Midian, where he marrieth a wife. After this there went a man of the house of Levi, and took a wife of his own kindred. And she conceived, and bore a son, and seeing him a goodly child, hid him 3 months. And when she could hide him no longer, she took a basket made of borzes, and went it with slime and pitch, and put the little babe therein, and laid him in the sedges by the river's brink, his sister standing afar off, and taking notice what would be done. And behold, the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself in the river, and her maids walked by the river's brink. And when she saw the basket in the sedges, she sent one of her maids for it, and when it was brought, she opened it, and seeing within it an infant crying, having compassion on it, she said, This is one of the babes of the Hebrews. And the child's sister said to her, Shall I go and copy the Hebrew woman to nurse the babe? She answered, Go. The maid went and called her mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, Take this child, and nurse him for me, I will give thee thy wages. The woman took and nursed the child, and when he was grown up, she delivered him to Pharaoh's daughter. And she adopted him for a son, and called him Moses, saying, Because I took him out of the water. Moses. All Moses, in the Egyptian tongue, signifies one taken or saved out of the water. In those days, after Moses was grown up, he went out to his brethren, and saw their affliction on an Egyptian striking one of the Hebrews, his brethren. And when he had looked about this way and that way, and saw no one there, he slew the Egyptian, and hid him in the sand. He slew the Egyptian. This he did by a particular inspiration of God, as a prelude to his delivering the people from their oppression and bondage. He thought, says St. Stephen, Acts 7:25, that his brethren understood that God by his hand would save them. But such particular and extraordinary examples are not to be imitated. And going out the next day, he saw 2 Hebrews quarreling, and he said to him acted wrong, Why strikest thou thy neighbor? But he answered, Who hath appointed thee prince and judge over us? Wilt thou kill me, as thou didst yesterday kill the Egyptian? Moses feared, and said, How is this come to be known? But Pharaoh heard of this word, and sought to kill Moses, but he fled from his sight, and abode in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well. Midian, a city and country of Arabia, which took its name from Midian, a son of Abraham by Seturah, and was peopled by his posterity. And the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, who came to draw water, and when the troughs were filled, desired to water their father's flocks. And the shepherds came and drove them away, and Moses arose, and defending the maids, watered their sheep. And when they returned to ring their father, he said to them, Why are you come sooner than usual? Rael. He had 2 names, being also called Jepher, as appears from the first verse of the following chapter. They answered, A man of Egypt delivered us from the hands of the shepherds, and he drew water also with us, and beaved his sheep to drink. But he said, Where is he? Why have you let the man go? Call him that he may eat bread. And Moses swore that he would dwell with him. And he took Sephorah's daughter to wife, and she bore him a son, whom he called Gersom, saying, I have been a stranger in a foreign country. And she bore another, whom he called Eliezer, saying, For the God of my father, my helper, hath delivered me out of the hand of Pharaoh. Gersom, or Gershom, this name signifies a stranger there, as Eliezer signifies the help of God. Now after a long time the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel groaning cried out because of the works, and the cry went up unto God from the works. And he heard their groaning, and remembered the covenant which he made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And the Lord looked upon the children of Israel, and he knew them. Knew then. That is, he had respect to them, he cast a merciful eye upon them. Exodus chapter 3. God appeareth to Moses in a bush, and sendeth him to deliver Israel. Now Moses fed the sheep of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he drove the flock to the inner parts of the desert, and came to the mountain of God, Hor. And the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush, and he saw that the bush was on fire, and was not burned. The Lord appeared. That is, an angel representing God, and speaking in his name. And Moses said, I will go, and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt. And when the Lord saw that he went forward to see, he called him out of the midst of the bush, and said, Moses, Moses. And he answered, Here I am. And he said, Come not nigh hither, put off the shoes from thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground. And he said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Moses hid his face, for he durst not look at God. And the Lord said to him, I have seen the affliction of my people in Egypt, and I have heard their cry because of the rigor of them that are over the works, and knowing their sorrow, I am come down to deliver them out of the hands of the Egyptians, and to bring them out of that land into a good and spacious land, into a land their flow with milk and honey, to the places of the Canaanite, and Hethite, and Amorite, and Perizzite, and Hivite, and Jebusite. For the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me, and I have seen their affliction, wherewith they are oppressed by the Egyptians. But come, and I will send thee to Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. And Moses said to God, Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh, and should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt? And he said to him, I will be with thee, and this thou shalt offer a sign that I have sent thee. When thou shalt have brought my people out of Egypt, thou shalt offer sacrifice to God upon this mountain. Moses said to God, Lo, I shall go to the children of Israel, and say to them, The God of your fathers hath sent me to you. If they shall say to me, What is his name? What shall I say to them? God say to Moses, I am Huram. He said, They shalt thou say to the children of Israel, He who is hath sent me to you. I am Huram. That is, I am being itself, eternal, self-existent, independent, infinite, without beginning, end, or change, and the source of all other beings. And God said again to Moses, Thus shalt thou say to the children of Israel, The Lord God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob hath sent me to you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations. Go and gather together the ancients of Israel, and thou shalt say to them, The Lord God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, hath appeared to me, saying, Visiting I have visited you, and I have seen all that hath befallen you in Egypt. And I have said the word to bring you forth out of the affliction of Egypt, and to the land of the Canaanite, and Hethite, and Amorite, and Perizzite, and Hivite, and Jebusite, to a land that floweth in milk and honey. And they shall hear thy voice, and thou shalt go in, thou and the ancients of Israel, to the king of Egypt. And thou shalt say to him, The Lord God of the Hebrews hath called us. We will go 3 days' journey into the wilderness to sacrifice unto the Lord our God. But I know that the king of Egypt will not let you go, but by a mighty hand. For I will stretch forth my hand, and will strike Egypt with all my wonders which I will do in the midst of them. After these he will let you go. And I will give favor to this people in the sight of the Egyptians. And when you go forth, he shall not depart empty, but every woman shall ask of her neighbor, and of her that is in her house, vessels of silver and of gold, and raiment, and you shall put them on your sons and daughters, and shall spoil Egypt. Shall spoil, etc. That is, he shall strip and take away the goods of the Egyptians. This was not authorizing theft or injustice, but was a just disposal made by him who is the great Lord and Master of all things, in order to pay the children of Israel some part of what was due to them from the Egyptians for their labors. Exodus chapter 4. Moses is empowered to confirm his mission with miracles. His brother Aaron is appointed to assist him. Moses answered and said, They will not believe me, nor hear my voice, but they will say, The Lord hath not appeared to thee. Then he said to him, What is that thou holdest in thy hand? He answered, A rod. And the Lord said, Cast it down upon the ground. He cast it down, and it was turned into a serpent, so that Moses fled from it. And the Lord said, Put out thy hand, and take it by the tail. He put forth his hand, and took hold of it, and it was turned into a rod. That they may believe, saith he, that the Lord God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob hath appeared to thee. And the Lord said again, Put thy hand into thy bosom. And when he had put it into his bosom, he brought it forth leprous as snow. And he said, Put back thy hand into thy bosom. He put it back, and brought it again, and it was like the other flesh. If they will not believe thee, saith he, nor hear the voice of the former sign, they will believe the word of the latter sign. But if they will not even believe these 2 signs, nor hear thy voice, take up the river water, and pour it out upon the dry land, and whatsoever thou drawest out of the river shall be turned into blood. Moses said, I beseech thee, Lord, I am not eloquent from yesterday and the day before, and since thou hast spoken to thy servant, I have more impediment and slowness of tongue. The Lord said to him, Who made man's mouth? Or who made the dumb and the deaf, the seeing and the blind? Did not I? Go therefore, and I will be in thy mouth, and I will teach thee what thou shalt speak. But he said, I beseech thee, Lord, send him thou wilt send. The Lord, being angry at Moses, said, Aaron the Levite is thy brother. I know that he is eloquent. Behold, he cometh forth to meet thee, and seeing thee shall be glad at heart. Speak to him, and put my words in his mouth, and I will be in thy mouth, and in his mouth, and will show you what you must do. He shall speak in thy stead to the people, and shall be thy mouth, and thou shalt be to him in those things that pertain to God. And take this rod in thy hand, wherewith thou shalt do the signs. Moses went his way, and returned to Jethro his father to law, and said to him, I will go and return to my brethren into Egypt, that I may see if they be yet alive. And Jethro said to him, Go in peace. And the Lord said to Moses in Midian, Go and return into Egypt, for they are all dead that sought thy life. Moses therefore took his wife and his sons, and set them upon an ass, and returned into Egypt, carrying the rod of God in his hand. And the Lord said to him as he was returning into Egypt, See, thou Diana waters God of Ah, which I have put in the hand. I shall harden his heart, and he will not let the people go. I shall harden, etc. Not by being the efficient cause of his sin, but by withdrawing from him for his just punishment the dew of grace that might have softened his heart, and so suffering him to grow harder and harder. And thou shalt say to him, Thus saith the Lord, Israel is my son, my firstborn. I have said to thee, Let my son go, that he may serve me. And thou hast not let him go, O, I will kill thy son, thy firstborn. And when he was in his journey, in the end, the Lord met him, and would have killed him. The Lord met him, and would have killed him. This was an angel representing the Lord, who treated Moses in this manner for having neglected the circumcision of his younger son, which his wife understanding circumcised her child upon the spot upon which the angel let Moses go. Immediately Sephora took a very sharp stone, and circumcised the foreskin of her son, and touched his feet, and said, A bloody spouse art thou to me. And he let him go after she had said, A bloody spouse art thou to me, because of the circumcision. And the Lord said to Aaron, Go into the desert to meet Moses. And he went forth to meet him in the mountain of God, and kissed him. And Moses told Aaron all the words of the Lord by which he had sent him, and the signs that he had commanded. And they came together, and they assembled all the ancients of the children of Israel. And Aaron spoke all the words which the Lord had said to Moses, and he wrote the signs before the people. And the people believed. And they heard that the Lord had visited the children of Israel, and that he had looked upon their affliction, and falling down they adored.